one, roll the footage. And we are live. Maestro.
What's happening, everybody? Founder Sean Malone here, founder and co-founder alongside of our super people, awesome people for our Elevate pod that we're doing today. We got some really cool guests I'm going to introduce you in just a second. But first, what are we talking about? Referral flywheels. If you're a founder and you're like, how do I put a referral system in my business? Today is your day because we're going to dive deep into that. I can't wait to share a lot of top secrets. In fact, we got so riveted about this topic last week that we invited one of our coolest friends that we know. Her name is Marie Mack. Hey, Marie, what's up?
Hi, how's it going? I'm super stoked to be here. This is such a passion project and topic for me.
Yes, and that's why we invited you, because we were brainstorming like who's the best of the best of the best of the best, and there's only one name that really popped at the top, and it's you. So I'm really pumped to have you here to get your perspective on referral flywheels. And again, don't forget, next week we are going to be diving into storytelling and sales. So if you want to learn storytelling, come back next week, next same time, same place. But today we're going to get into it. Simon is the other co-host of the pod today. Simon, what's going on, man?
Big week. I can't wait to tell you some of the newest stuff. Great to see you.
Okay, well, let's get into it. Let's start with wins, man. What's the biggest win for you? And then we'll go to Marie, and then I'll share one of mine. Go. What's your win?
Last week in the sprint club, the leaderboard was made out of 3 people. Can you remember? And they had 1,400 points. Well, This week they are around 4,000 points. One of them has been dethroned, and so it's on. It's on.
Ah, man, that's so cool. It's like you get to be the maestro and just kind of watch the game as it unfolds and who's the best, right? Like that's a pretty cool thing in your app, man. I dig it. Oh, a little bit of news for you. Bruno, yesterday, he's our CTO, for those of you who don't know, he told me we're going to build an app. And I was like, oh my God, like that's crazy. So I don't know when it's coming. He's a crazy dev guy, so we'll see what happens. So that's a big win on our end. We also have our affiliate program now have over 3,000 people in there. So that's incredible. And so we've actually built some really cool marketing stuff to help them. So those are a couple of wins on my end. Also, I got Frank Kern to re-engage yesterday. I had an hour-long convo with him on the phone, and he's back. He's with our tech again, and he's ripping it. So we got him all tuned and set up yesterday again. So that's really exciting. So those are 3 small wins. Marie, what's your wins?
Yeah, so last week was really awesome. I was able to go in person with one of my clients, which is such a joy. Working online all the time, it's great to be in person. And next week, I'm headed to a networking event, which is also my jam. So both of those things are kind of back to back, but starting the year off right. Just a lot of really good connections.
I love it. That's so awesome.
So
okay, we're going to dive right into
now.
Go ahead.
Marie, be careful. Be careful, Marie. We are app people now. So you might become an app person.
I was just talking about apps yesterday, and I was like, should we start one of these? And I was like, oh.
It's happening already.
I'm just going to come in and be like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Please, like, point me in the right.
Nobody has. Maybe Bruno has.
Bruno's probably the only one.
I have confidence in him.
I'll tell you one thing, guys. If you don't know who Marie Mack is, look her up online. Why? Because she kicks major ass, like more ass. She should probably go see a podiatrist, actually, of how much ass she kicks. But if you need systems in your business, she is probably the best in the world at it, or at least in the top like 5% of the world, I would say, easily. So definitely go check her out, look her up. But let's get into it. We're going to talk about building referral flywheels, building referral systems. We're going to dive into it as we always do. There's 5 questions, and there's a lightning round with 2 questions, and nobody knows what the questions are. So I'm going to start with Miss Marie. Number 1, Marie, if you're a founder and you're thinking about building a referral flywheel system in your business, what are the foundational steps to creating the system that can scale effortlessly?
Yeah, I love this question. So biggest thing for founders is to know what you actually need from your referral partners. I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's a great idea. I'm going to have people like promote my stuff. But they don't really like sit down and create a program around it. So then when they're asking people to promote their stuff, they don't really know what they're asking for. Just like a sales team, right? Like you have to know where you're sending them. Yeah. We just mimic the same thing inside a referral side. So you got to really know what you're asking for first. So sit down, do a little brainstorming and think about it.
Cool. I love that. So asking for what your people want first, and then where do we go? What are the foundational steps? Give them all to me. Like, go for it.
Yeah, so biggest thing is you got to have some kind of program that's tracking links. So think like any kind of affiliate program that's out there. You don't want to have to manually do this. So to scale at all, you're going to have some kind of system. This might be inside of your CRM. It might be inside of something you do with a VA, whatever it is. Like it can get really grassroots and then it can like scale up. But I'd check your CRM first because usually they have some kind of affiliate space there. So you have to have that first. You have to have some kind of incentive structure. Most of the time, it's some kind of commission based. Depending on what you're doing, I've seen anything from 50% for just straight up like online buy it. And you got a lot of PLR people, so white label people will do like 50% on any kind of purchases. To maybe you just give a one-time fee if you're doing a high ticket. Think like coaching, and you might be doing 10, 50,000. You might do a one-time like gift over to a referral partner. So you have to know what that looks like. And then you have to have some kind of verbiage when you're talking to people to say, this is what the program is, this is how it benefits your people, and why you should promote it. A lot of people get inundated with all of these different offers. So you want to make that really enticing. You want it to be something where they're like, hey, if I have an email I'm sending out, I'm either going to send it out to Sean because he's got a kick-ass package going, or I'm going to send it out to this guy and he's like giving me like $2. So think about what's incentivizing your partners, your referral partners there. And then you have to be consistent. You got to follow up. People are busy. And so as long as you have a system where you're tracking, and there are all kinds of amazing systems out there to track stuff, but we always say that follow-up is it. That's where the gold is. So remember to have a system and follow up.
Love that answer. Okay, quick recap for everybody. She said you got to ask what they want, right? Never sell something that somebody doesn't want. That was the first thing. She said you got to have a system of sorts. So make sure that you have one of those. If you don't have one, call her because she'll help you. Third one, you got to have an incentive structure. Be willing to pay the people that give you referrals. And it has to be enticing, is what she said. And then, of course, having some sort of a structure for follow-up to continue asking for referrals. Simon, I'm going to come over to you. I know you're one of the kings at referrals. In your opinion, what needs to be added to this awesome foundation that Marie just set? Again, the question is, what are the foundational steps to creating a referral system that scales effortlessly?
I like to write down the ideal client on one side, 5 levels deep. So who is your ideal client? And on the other side of that same page, I can share one example from one of the pages. So on the left side, 5 levels deep, what makes your ideal client? And go really 5 levels deep. More than 5 is even better, but don't stop at 3. Go really deep, because the more accurate, the more precise you are, the easier and the better the referral. And then what most people miss is write also the 5 red flags. So what's the non-ideal client? What's the anti-ICP? And because when you do that, you usually get a little bit more insights about your 5 positive definitions. And you can try it out while listening. You go 5 levels deep on the positive side. Then you go 5 things that are a red flag. And by doing that, automatically you will refine a little bit the left side. And with that left side, I now ask people to do the second thing, which is the one pager about, again, who is their ideal client, but then what do they solve for these people? So what are your deliverables? What can you do for them? Do you shorten their sales times? Do you help them cut costs? Do you help them increase win rates? And then who would be an ideal partner for you? Maybe I am not your perfect referral partner right now, but maybe I know referral partners. So my level 2 support, if you want, is maybe I have good referral partners for you. If I can't make you the perfect referral right now, I might know a referral partner. So these are 2 foundational things that come to mind.
I love those. I think being extremely crystal clear on number 1, who, and number 2, how you transform them. And I think that leads pretty much into the part that I wanted to add to this, because I think this is valuable. So Marie talked about, like, if you're putting in infrastructure to go huge and scale big, because that's her game, she plays it the best. Simon was talking about, hey, like, if you're just getting started as a founder, like, here's the step-by-step stuff. So like create who's the perfect person you want to sell to, and then say, here's the transformation I give. And if you have those on 2 pieces of paper, you can hand them to somebody and say, look, this is the person I'm looking for, and this is what I do. You know anybody that you care about that I should be talking to? And then that's how you can start getting referrals. And I think like if you're just starting and you don't have a referral system in your business, remember some simple things I think will help you. So in any good sales process, there's always a specific set of referral asks. And so if you don't have a system and you don't have a process, this is the easiest place to start. When you have your first sales conversation with somebody, at the end of that sales conversation is always where I do my first referral ask. Now, all the best sales pros in the world that I've studied, and I've studied a lot of them, they have the best ones have 3 referral asks in their process. So foundationally in a selling process, I'm not talking about setting up a referral flywheel system like Marie was talking about. I'm talking about like what you could do today. 1 pager, here's who I'm looking for. 1 pager, how I transform their life. And now when do you ask? At the end of your first sales conversation, hey, was this a good experience today, Marie? She goes, yes. All right, cool. Who else do you care about that should be at least interested or knowing about this stuff? Oh, well, Bob or Joe, or maybe she won't come up with anyone. That's fine. That's my first referral ask. The second place in a process that I know works extremely well is when you close the deal. The first time you close, when they give you the money, right? They go across the action threshold and say, here's my credit card. You say, oh, great. Don't go alone. Who do you care about should come with you on this mission? That's another great place to now ask for a second referral to the same person, right? Oh, well, my friend Bob is my mastermind. Like, yeah, let's get him on the phone. Let's get him to go through the journey with you, right? Because if you go together, now you have an accountability buddy. You can sell that all day long. It's a really easy way to ask for a referral a second time. And then the third time where I see a lot of people put this in is about 2 weeks in after they've purchased something from you. You come back and say, hey, look, like, or actually they've gotten their first result. So it's the first result is the third ask, right? So after 2 weeks, hey, I looked in your account. I see you're crushing it. Who else should be crushing it like you? Right? Who do you care about that should be in that place? And so these are the wheres of where you should be asking. And then we're going to get into systems here in a second, but it's just as a founder, if you're just starting and you don't have that, I just wanted to cover that piece because it's like, here's the easiest referral system you can start with, right? What Simon said, build a list and get the deliverables with the transformation, and then put those asks in your process and don't deviate. That will grow your business because the magic number in any business, I'll tell you this, Alex Ramosi preached about it a while ago. If you can get every client to give you 1.1 referrals, you have an infinite growth source in your business. Super powerful. So, okay, let's move on to question 2. Back to Marie, the awesome one. How do you incentivize referrals in a way that feels authentic and not transactional? Tough question.
Yes. Oh, I love this one too. So I am a very visibility focused affiliate partner manager person. So it's not always about numbers. It's about how we can move more people through a system. So and this is the exact same thing you were just talking about. Obviously, sales is super important. Asking for the next sale is super important. Partnerships, affiliates are also extremely important, and asking for those, that's another huge thing. So I mimic a lot of the same stuff inside, you just said in sales. You asked me a question and I don't think I answered it.
It's okay. How do you incentivize referrals that feel authentic or not authentic versus not transactional?
Yeah. Yes, I love that. So the biggest thing is around, oh my gosh, non-transactional stuff is also in introducing them to other people and making sure that they're getting to the right other referral partners. So non-transactional also means what they are looking for in their business goals. So you have to ask about that. Here we go. We're getting around to a circle.
It's the flywheel. That's right. I mean, like,
this is fun. This is like, it's like a little bit of a game right now. And
that's all it is. This whole show is a game. So I like it.
So their business focus overall, like I'm always looking for visibility. I think a lot of either first-time business owners or people who are scaling, they want more visibility. Visibility can be anything as like, can I introduce you to a stage host that might be able to help you get on stage? It might be, can I introduce you to 10 other partners that might be a really good fit? So those are not necessarily transactional things. It's more about using introductions to stay top of mind of other partners. There's also a space where we can swap visibility, as in like if I email your product, service, something, and you email mine, we can negate any of those commissions back and forth and just get the leads that are coming in. There's still a transactional kind of number that's in there because leads is still a number we would track. Like if I sent you an email and you're like, oh, I got 500 leads from that. Like that would be amazing. And you're like, let's do it again and again and again. And if we both had 500 new leads that were coming in, then they're not necessarily transactional monetarily, but they're transactional with numbers and leads. Because everybody knows if you get more leads in, the more leads that come in, the higher your conversion rate should be. So some of those things,
hopefully that's how
if you have the right systems in place, it's going to work out great. Check your numbers again, and then tweak. Okay.
Love that.
So it's less about like the financial numbers and more about like being a good person. This is referral-based marketing. That is a lot of things that I talk about. It's about how do you want to help that business grow and not always look at like, what are your click-through rates and how many emails did you send and like which people are here and there and everywhere else. It's about just being a really good human and helping other people grow.
Yeah, I love that. Simon, we'll come back to you. I know you have, I think you should write a book on this, but how do you incentivize referrals that feel authentic and not transactional?
Good question. Today we had a team meeting and we decided now that we have an app and there are 170 people using it, now we said, hey, let's build a button and call it refer. And the reason is they are using it. So you are in a place, you are doing it. While you are doing it, you think, oh, who else would be cool to have here and play this with? That's the moment when it's natural to say, okay, yeah, somebody else should be here. Boom, click, form pops up. Who is it? Send invite. Shloop. And then it gets tracked, obviously, by the system so that we can say thank you and follow up and everything. But so this was one thing. How can you embed it in the most natural situation? So I'm using this, I'm in this place. Who else am I basically missing or thinking of? Okay, click, let's bring them in. That's one thing that we were thinking about. And now I forgot your question.
Yeah, it's the one that everyone forgets. How do you incentivize referrals in a way that feels authentic, not transactional?
Yeah, one is to ask in the natural situation. An unnatural situation would be, I meet you on the street and I ask you about something completely different. But if I am on the street with you, we're walking down the street, and now I ask you about something that's on that street, that I think is much more natural. The next thing that I do is I schedule power hours with people. It's 45 minutes where we sit down and make 3 introductions each. Now, that's a little bit less natural, but we have agreed to do this. So we know each other. We know that there is some overlap, that we like each other, that the values and the level of professionality and of quality of what we do is compatible. And then we say, okay, hey, should we do this like once a month, sit down for a power hour? And if they say yes, we schedule that. Once a month, we sit down, it's 45 minutes. And we know already that the goal is, all right, what's new in your world? Let's make 3 introductions. And we do 3 introductions each. I found this to be a good thing. Now that we have a JV manager, I'm not doing them anymore. We handed it over to the JV manager. But I did it for half a year. And I had like 10 power hours per week, and those created very nice conversations with the right people.
I mean, that's 10 a week times 3 each. That's 30 new opportunities every single week that are warm. If you think about any business model on planet Earth, like that's a good one, right? So just kind of think about that. I think the other piece of it is Simon said something and Marie started smiling and nodding because she's the systems expert. And Simon just said, I have a person to run the thing. That means Marie's happy because it's like Simon had a system and then he put team in. Why does Marie's agency run by its own? Because she's a master systems builder and she filled it with the right team. Another kind of off tangent thing is your team will build you the legacy that you truly want. Don't try to do it all yourself and wear all the hats, because you'll just fall down and burn out and you probably want to kill yourself, like it was me, right? That's where I was. So never a good thing. So the other piece of this that I'll kind of share is like, I love your guys' approaches, but I think on the contrasting side, by the way, if you're listening to this as a founder and you're like, dude, you guys are crazy, drop a comment below, because we want to know what you think. Like, this is a conversation. The one thing that I prefer to do, while both of your strategies are awesome and I should do those, but the one thing that I would prefer to do is actually put a little bit more pressure on the prospect to find people. How we do it is we built a Facebook group. Now, if you have a Facebook group, this is going to be a natural progression for you, because when I get in a call, what I say is this: hey, look, I know there's a lot of people in my group that you should serve. Would you agree? They say yes. Okay, great. I want to send you some people's names. I want to give you some intros just as a favor, because I love you and you're here and you're looking at my stuff to potentially buy it. Go into my group, go through the group members, and drop me the names of 2 or 3 or 4 people that you'll want to meet. When you do that, I will then introduce you one-to-one to all of those people. This is a system that you can add in your business. I'll introduce you to all of these 4 people in a one-to-one conversation, and from there, you can just tee up a call and bang a deal. If that sounds good, are you on board? Yes. Okay, cool. I'll wait for you to send me the names and then I'll take action. Sound good? And this way, I'm not having to put out too much energy to go find this person some referrals. They can just go through all the work that I did in the past however long to build a list. So something to think about is another just angle of how you can make something very authentic. And then, of course, we built a affiliate program. So if you don't have an affiliate program, maybe you're a smaller business, that should be something later down the road. But if you're in that place where you're like thinking about it, building an affiliate program is awesome. Maybe that would be another topic for Marie to tell us how to do that later. So, but yeah, so those are question 2. Question 3, we're moving on. Marie, to you, what are the most common reasons referral programs fail, and how can I avoid them as a new founder?
This is a good one. Okay, so most common reasons that referral programs fail. A lot of the times they didn't do the prep beforehand. They don't really know what they need from their referrers, from their partners. The other thing that will really kind of mess up a referral program is if you are changing your offer all of the time, or you're changing your ideal client all the time. So kind of at the beginning, Simon went through this exercise of like figuring out who your ideal client is. When that shifts or changes, you also have to go back to your referral partners and make sure that they're still on board and that they still have those people in their audience. I'm thinking like bigger partnership conversations where somebody might be sending 500 leads at a time. It's a little bit different than a one-off purchaser who might be sending their best friend to join you. Like that's one at a time. But if you are changing your offer often, you have to go back to those partners. And what it starts to do, it starts to create a little bit of confusion. And when we have confused partners don't promote, right? Like confused buyers don't buy. It's the same sort of model. I use everything that we talked about, I don't know how many years ago, Sean, but confused partners won't promote. They are not sure. And when that happens, you start to get falters. So not to say you can't change your product or you can't adjust as the times adjust, because everybody knows over the last however many couple years, like things have shifted. But you do need to be very intentional that you have the right partners in place, because we want to see those partners actually convert for themselves. Like if you are giving a commission, you want them to keep referring over and over and over again. Or if you are putting them on a stage, you want them to convert on a stage. All of these things can only happen if it's really clear that their audience is the right fit for what you're promoting. And that's something that's happened in the last couple of years a bunch. Like we've had so many clients who are like, I don't like this anymore, I'm going to change. And it's like, well, you might as well just scrap the whole referral program and let's start again. Or at least remind the people that are in that referral program that something has shifted, and are they still on board? Because that's where the flywheel comes in.
I'm so curious if when you say that to somebody, they freak out and they're like, oh shit, you're right. How do I? And then it's like all of a sudden they recognize they have a gap. And then do they come back and buy more stuff from you? Is that usually what happens? Because I feel like that's what should happen.
Yeah, it's like a step back. Any kind of business strategy change in like the product or the ideal client or anything, like we have to step back and update the program as well. Like just like you would update how you're doing sales or you update how you're doing marketing, you have to update how you're doing referral based promotions as well. And yeah, I love that part. I mean, that's the fun strategy part of like recreating a really awesome kick-ass program that will continue on in a legacy that will outlive you and your business. It's because something is consistent and somebody feels confident to always do it. Like any other program that I promoted is because it's been there for years. And I'm confident that when I send people to that program that they're going to be taken care of. That means I have to check in often. Simon was talking about just those monthly meetings. Like he and I have sat down and we've had conversations last year too to refer people. But I have to check in and make sure, like, is this a really good fit for my business? Am I getting what I need out of it? And are my partners getting the support that they need? So it does take time, and it's kind of like off the wall because it's only been recent that people want to shift and change and touch everything inside of their business, and it creates confusion.
Yeah, no, confusion kills. Like that's what they say, right? I love that, Marie. That's awesome. All right, Simon,
it goes back, Sean, to something that we discussed, I think, in the first and second episode. There are a few things as a business owners that you should never change. And then the rest you can change every week. What are the things they should never...
Hold on. I'm gonna no open loops, dude. What's the things they should never change?
Exactly. What is it that you should never change? Never change who you are here to serve and which problems you solve. Never. Because every time you change them, you have to change everything else. You have to change everything else accordingly. And if those are systems, that means those are automations, right? So you have to go through all the automations and change them. You have to call all your partners and tell them about the shift. It's terrible. It's like renaming Twitter to X. Don't do it. Everybody says Twitter. So two things you never change: who you are here to serve and the problem that you solve. The rest you can change all the time. The name of the product, the price, everything. You can change everything. Change your YouTube channel every second week, but never change who you are here to serve, the ideal client, and the problems that you solve.
I would like to just diverge for a second on that one, Simon, because I feel like if you're a newer founder and you don't quite know your exact ideal client, how do you manage that? If you just said never change who you serve.
Pick one, because if you don't pick one, you will never have one. At some point, you have to pick one and stay there, right?
Totally true. Okay, cool. So again, the idea is to pick an ICP and don't change unless it absolutely destroys your soul, and then you can change, right? Is that what you would say?
Yeah, you heard how confusing it is whenever you shift. And so how many times do you want to confuse your ecosystem?
Yeah, never, not. I got you. Okay, back to you, Simon. The question was, what are the most common reasons referral programs fail, and how can I avoid them?
Oh, consistency, not measurability. So when we started, year one, we had one referral partner per month. And the first thing that went wrong, some said, yeah, I'm going to refer you and I'm going to send people to that event. And then they didn't. And we were like, how is this? What just happened? They said they were going to promote that event and then they didn't promote that event. And so we realized, well, first of all, not everybody that says they're going to promote the event is actually going to promote the event. And so we tried to find out what is going on here. Okay, one is sometimes you pick a person that's not reliable. Okay, can happen. But then we said, okay, which loop can we build in so that this doesn't happen that much? And we said, okay, after every event promotion, we have a debrief. And so we introduced this debrief, and it became a standard operating procedure. We agreed to 2 dates. So Michelle right now writes down, okay, you're going to promote April 14 and April 16, right? She doesn't say you're going to promote April, right? She says, oh, 14 and 16? Oh, no, it's 16 and 18? Perfect. Let me write it down. Also, Simon always has a debrief 1 week later. Can I schedule a debrief for the 22nd? And they go, oh, why a debrief? Oh, it's just a standard operating procedure. We will review the numbers from both sides and then learn from that and decide what the next steps are. Because usually after an email swap, if we both like the numbers and if the audience resonated, then we can do the next level of collaboration, which is a masterclass, a speaking engagement, an embedded offer. And so we show them the whole process. But the key point was, the learning for us was always a debrief. Now that we have the debrief, nobody's ghosting us, because who wants to ghost and then sit in front of you in the debrief?
Yeah, I when you said that, my butthole puckered up a little bit, because I was like, oh, that's it. That's the accountability thing that nobody puts into the referral systems. And when you do that, you'll be like the only one. I mean, Simon just mentioned it to you. It's probably the first time you've ever heard it if you're listening to this. But yeah, you put that accountability in there and you're like, no, we're going to debrief and look at your numbers and my numbers. All of a sudden that puts this whole next level of pressure to actually execute, right? And I think there's a lot to that. So Simon said, just to recap everything, he said, you got to be consistent in it. Number 2, you got to measure it. Like, how are you measuring it? Number 3, be specific when you're asking for like a referral, like swap or something like that. And then debrief. And that will lead to growth with that channel partner or that referral partner. So I think like those are some of the most common reasons referral programs fail. The other one that I would share is this: if you just don't ask for referrals, you fail. Like, simple as that. And if you're not asking for referrals, now we got to go deeper into your soul and we got to figure out why, right? Are you not convicted about what you're selling? Are you not getting results for people? Like, are you not transforming people's lives? Like, if you're not doing those 3 things first, like, referral program doesn't even make sense. So it's like, and that's probably the reason why you're not asking for referrals. So even though you're just like, oh, I'm not going to ask, look deeper, go a little bit deeper into do some soul searching, smoke a joint, have some wine, whatever, like figure out why you're not convicted about your thing. I think that's a big piece of it. All right. Number 4, here we go. Moving on. How do you, so to Marie, how do you track and measure the success of a referral program? Specifically, what metrics are the most important to measure?
Okay. This is huge, because people want to like look at every single number. And I think this goes back to how to make referral relationships long-term, because this is a person. I think that's the biggest thing. I'm going to go back to like, this is a person. Numbers are important. They're going to come up in the debrief. I love that you do a debrief, Simon. 100%. My team does the same thing. It's really important. And not all numbers are created equal in my book. So the numbers that we typically look at is, if you're doing a webinar, for example, like how many registrants did you bring to that webinar? How many of those registrants show up live? Those 2 numbers are really great. I don't really care how many, this is going to sound bad, I don't really care how many people are on your email list. I don't really care how many people are inside your Facebook group. I don't really care how many people are inside your mastermind. It's about how those people transition to the offer that we're putting in front of them. And a webinar or a masterclass or a training or whatever you want to call it, that is the number that I really love. I love to see how many people came on and how many people converted. Those give me 2 things. That gives me not only how your audience resonates with the offer that we put in front of them, to know if it's a good thing for us to offer again. When we go to the debrief, we're going to say, hey, this worked out really well. When can we do it again? Or it looks like this didn't resonate with them. What do we need to tweak and change so that it does? Because we might have an audience mismatch. The other thing it tells me is how my client, usually the person giving that training, how they are converting on a specific training. So I have 2 numbers that give me a lot of information. Either we need to tweak the offer towards the audience, or we need to tweak how we are presenting that offer inside of that training. Those 2 numbers, I guess, what other numbers did you ask about?
Or no, I mean, it's just what are the most important KPIs to track, right? Like, as a measure of the success of a referral program, I think you nailed it. I mean, like, if you're doing, and again, you know, Marie's perspective is kind of big business or bigger business, where it's like, I'm setting up mega systems for people. And so she talks about things like webinar events or things like that, because now you can do an email swap, and then there's a lot more KPIs and measurement that you can track, which I think is really, really valuable if you're in that piece or place for your business. If you're a little bit smaller than that, let me ask Simon. Simon, how do you track and measure the success of a referral program? What are the most important KPIs or things you should track?
The same as Marie. So in the first year, it was one monthly event that we were promoting. And now it's again one monthly event, but it's 3 partners promoting with 2 emails each. So we have now 12 times 3 partners per year. And so it's the same thing, but we have to be even more granular, because now a little mistake makes bigger splashes, and a little improvement makes a bigger splash too. So we measure number of registrants, because it's a monthly webinar. So we call it a workshop, and it's number of registrants and number of people who show up. In the debrief, similar to Marie, the number doesn't really matter. On average, it's 90 people that they bring. We talk about the quality of those people and what did they tell back. So are they happy? Did they say thank you because you gave them this invitation, or did they say this was crap? Right? You wasted my time. Are they unsubscribing from your email? Sometimes they go, oh, no, they don't like it. They're unsubscribing. Okay, we know. Let's not renew the collaboration in the next year. Because also what you're always thinking about is, should we renew next year? Because there will be a next year, so you will have, again, 3 times 12 slots in our case. And we're always thinking, okay, who should we renew? And that is something that we are continuously observing and reviewing with them. And so in this case, does it really resonate with your people? And should we do this again? Should we do more? That's the conversation in our case.
The only piece I'll add to this, because these guys are pros and know better than me, but I'll say the one thing that is really interesting is you listen through the lines of what they're both saying. Simon said something that I think is so valuable that anybody, like we talk about this referral flywheel. What is a flywheel? A flywheel is something that infinitely perpetuates itself from its own energy. Once you get it started, it never stops. That's what we're trying to create out of a referral thing. Simon just laid out an entire system that if you're crazy enough to go do this, it will work. What do I mean? Let's break down the numbers. He said, I have 3 partners every month that send 2 emails. Okay, so that's 6 emails total, right? So your copywriter can write 6 emails a month, right? That's not hard to do. Secondly, now as a founder or a co-founder, an owner, whatever, we're thinking about, how do I build this into a system? Well, if we took the rest of 2025 and only found 36 good partners, why did I say 36? Because Simon said 3 partners a month times 12 is 36 people. You have to find 36 people that have the right people that you need to sell to, and that becomes your job. This is how you create this mega flywheel system, and then you have the debrief for the accountability and the systems within that. Now you actually have a referral flywheel mechanism that will never stop, as long as, because that's the system, you just got to put the team in to run it. So Marie, would anything else that you would add to this whole conversation about this?
Yeah, I have one more. I'll say it's something to track. I don't know if it's actually numbers, but especially over the last several years, we've really been tracking how easy it is to communicate with this partner or referral partner. And then, this is going to sound bad, are they an asshole or not? Like, we don't want to work with people who are just mean. Like, oh, you didn't send the 107 people you said you would send, you only sent 93. Like, we're in the basis of making sure the right people are getting in front of the right product. And we do that through referral marketing. We do it through relationship marketing. And we've had several partners in the last couple of years who are just rude about it. And we don't want to work with them. And so I think that there is also, I've definitely talked with my team about saying, if this is the highest person bringing in every single number out perfect, but they are mean to the team, that's a no. We will take them and we will say, no, thank you. We're not working with you. And it's up to the clients, of course, on like if they want to continue that relationship. But there are several people we don't have relationships with anymore because they're not kind to work with. So I think that there's another layer on top of the numbers, that it's like, be a good human inside of this and know that everybody is doing their very best as much as they can. We're going to keep them accountable through like debriefs and like checking numbers and things. But there's also a thing where we won't work with partners again if they're just rude. So it's not exactly.
If I were to create a soundbite around what you just said, I would say, be an ass kicker, don't be a dickhead. That's what I would say, right? Like, because if you're a dickhead, nobody wants to work with you anyways. So, okay, last question, and we're gonna dive into the lightning round. Let's go. We're gonna switch it up. I'll go to Simon first this time. Simon, what strategies have you used to motivate not just customers, but also employees or partners to actively refer you business? You talked about this previous session about how you have these buckets. I was wondering if you can cover on that part again.
Oh, I love this question. This is something that we realized pretty late, how important it is and how actually easy it is to build. So we come together as a team every Monday and Friday. Monday, what's the focus of the week? Everybody tells. Friday, what did we do? What did we learn from the activities? What's working? What's not? And the Friday part, everybody has one swim lane and one number. So they have their core number. If they're in operations, they're telling us a number about how happy the current clients are. If they're in sales, they're telling a number how many new clients we got or we almost got, right? We are getting. And if they're in marketing, is how many people are interested, engaged, basically, which is subscriptions or registrations or something like that, downloads. So let's go through all these three and how can you incentivize them, motivate them to ask for referrals. The ops people, customer support, customer service, customer success, these people you can ask, okay, who is the most energized this week? And I literally do. On Friday, one part is, who gave you just the most exciting feedback right now, this week? Because it's a timing thing. You said it. You want to ask for referrals 3 times. And so you have to know when. So when they tell us, wow, this client is so enthusiastic right now. They wrote us this email. It was like a love letter. I printed it and I showed it to my kids. I said, okay, boom. Now, sales, go ask for referral. Right now, call them. Call them. Who else needs this? Can we use it for marketing? Can you give me a 1-minute video? That's the moment when you ask for a testimonial and for a referral. So that's the ops people, whoever does client work. And in our case, there is also the certified strategy sprints coaches. So I put it into the contract that, you know, what's your responsibility? What's my responsibility? My responsibility is to teach you everything and to give you the 274 tools and templates for people to double revenue. Your responsibility is to use the brand and the tools in the best way and to ask for referrals so that everybody wins. They win, you win, we win. So it's even in the contract, in the agreement, in the psychological agreement, it's part of the job. You're not just a coach. You're a coach who is supposed to double revenue of people. When it happens, you ask them for a referral so that they bring 3 friends. So that's the job description, not just coach. Right?
Yeah, and the way that I heard you, I love all of this because I think this is beautiful. And you kind of went into 2 of those buckets. I think I just want to share the buckets that you shared last time with me because I think they were super valuable. The first one you said you have a friends and family bucket. This is a bucket to say, hey, I do this thing online. It's pretty awesome. Do you know anybody that runs a business that sells online? Like, could you make an intro? That's the referral from friends and family. Simon just said, internal employees can also refer you. Your job as a founder is to motivate them and get them to do what he just said, right? And then the last bucket is the one that Marie crushed is she's like, your customers can obviously bring you referrals. So now as your referral flywheel continues to grow, we think about choosing one of those buckets and deploying a tactic to get that one bucket ripping. And then we turn on bucket 2 and then bucket 3 when the timing is right. So again, we've talked about a lot of big things here, a lot of big concepts, and this is why I always believe coaching is the secret. The 2 people that you're looking at and talking to here are some of the world's best coaches in their respective fields. I would say I'm one of the best in the DM game there's ever been, just because I have a big ego. No, I'm just kidding. I've done it more than most, is what I would say. So, but yeah, so just thinking about like where and how and who I think is a good thing. So the 3 buckets are great. Let's go into the lightning round. We are here. This is it again. Don't forget, next week we're going to tune into storytelling in sales. That'll be a great one for you. But let's go. This is where we get a little bit more vulnerable. Marie, I'm coming to you. What's the biggest mistake you've ever made when building a referral system, and what did you learn from it?
The biggest mistake, I was going into some kind of networking event and not really knowing what I was asking for from those people. So when you go to networking events, a great place to find partners. I sat down and I was like, so I have this thing that I created and it does a thing and it's great and you should promote it. And it's just like, bleh. So first, I didn't get anything from that. I confused the people that were in front of me. They are not going to refer me to anybody else. I look like an idiot. And it's just because I didn't prepare appropriately. So I'm sure this doesn't happen to any of our listeners. So I'm just going to leave this lesson because it's probably just me. Just saying, prepare some stuff because it's really important when you're going out there. It's like a first look. It's a first date. It's the first time you get in front of somebody and you want them to not only like you as a person, because I think that that's important. We have a human connection inside of this referral marketing space. And you have to know what you're asking for. And it goes all the way, like this is the same thing that we've been talking about this entire episode is around knowing what you're asking for and being clear about it because people do want to support you and they want to like get your name out there. So that was a big mistake.
That was it. Simon, to you. Yeah, the big learning. There's no such thing as, I hate the word fail. I think it should be renamed to learning list. I think in China, they have like 30 words for the word fail because like there's different degrees of whatever. Anyway, I just don't like that word too much. Simon, coming to you, what's the biggest mistake you've made when building a referral system and what'd you learn from it?
Not listening. So my biggest mistakes is when I go into a power hour or when I go into any conversation, not listening, because I got my agenda and so instead of that, I prepare well now. I click a button and you see the ideal client. I click a button and you see the ideal referral. The reason is I don't want to focus on that. I am prepared. That's my homework. I do that before. And then in the conversation, I really listen. And we have a note now where everybody, me, our JV manager, our assistant, everybody, whoever we meet, we always note in that same list what's their superpower and who is their ideal client. So whoever we meet, because that's ultimate listening, if you listen to what's their superpower, so what can they do for people, right? This person is amazing at that. They can do this for you. That's the most important thing to remember, because I will need that for referrals. And the second thing, who is their ideal client? The more specific, the better. And we listen and we write it down. So, and the big mistake was not to listen to that and just to look for, okay, what can I accomplish in this meeting? No, much better. Now I prepare better. And so in the meeting itself, I'm more relaxed. And funny enough, now actually more referrals happen out of that.
Solid. So good. Both of your guys' answers are good. The last thing I would answer is like, what's the biggest mistake Sean made? It was the mistake that led to the biggest burnout of my life, where I almost drove into a tree and ended my life. I didn't have parameters around my time blocks. I didn't have parameters around myself so that I wouldn't burn out and give myself time for rest. And so a lot of founders wear too many hats. When I launched our first software product, it was years ago. It's called Digital Genius Lab, and it helped these 9-to-5ers learn paid ads to cold traffic. That's what it did. And we were like, okay, we have, hundreds of clients now. Like, how do we create and build this referral thing? Meanwhile, I wasn't thinking about Sean's already taking 10 to 17 sales calls a day. That's a lot of time, right? Just in that in itself. Plus I was running a software company. Plus I had this massive group of clients that I was trying to run, and my team was tight. We were tight. And so we decided to launch this referral program, and we launched it to like our 100 best people. And guess what happened? Sean's calendar went from 10 to 17 appointments today to 20. I didn't have the staff to accommodate the volume that when it worked, right? Because if you have a product that transforms people and you do serve them well, they're going to want to, like Marie said, people want to help you grow. And so we were at that place, and they just started sending massive amounts of people. That's when I knew we had the right offer, and I knew that we had the right stuff, but we didn't have capacity. We didn't have team. We didn't have systems. I should have hired Marie at that time in my life, because she would have been like, oh my God, Sean, like, this is great. Let's do this. but I didn't know what to do because I just didn't know. And so that was the biggest mistake I ever made when building a referral system. I launched it a little bit too soon because I didn't have the capacity to serve. And then my personal parameters broke and I burned out because I was doing too much work. So that's what happened to me. It was a terrible experience. I don't ever recommend anybody do that. If you're thinking about launching a referral program, you're not quite sure, call Simon or call Marie, call me, let's talk. Last question, and we're gonna wrap this thing up today. This is an easy one. Marie, have you ever struggled with convincing others to believe in your referral system's potential? And how did you handle the skepticism?
Yes, definitely 100%. The biggest thing is usually because people have past experiences where they assume that the experience with me is going to be the same. So it's like having somebody who's dated around for a while and every time they get burned and then they want to come and like have a conversation with you and you're just like, I'm different, I promise. And it just doesn't really jive there. So it's the biggest thing is about developing trust and showcasing that you are a person that will follow up. You are a person that do what we say we're going to do. Like these are the lines that are inside of my team's mind all this time. That's why follow-up is so important. That's why the debriefs are so important. That's why hey, that email must have just got caught because ActiveCampaign is doing something crazy. Please send it. All of these things happen regularly in referral type marketing. And I know Simon said at the beginning, like you had a partner and they didn't promote and you're like, why aren't these people promoting? There's something about just being good human with it. And then there's something about creating accountability there. So I hope that answered your question.
I nailed it, right? So even the top of the top, Marie just said, yes, I've struggled with convincing others to believe in our referral system. So if you're out there thinking, why don't people believe me? You're not alone. Don't worry. It's not your fault. You just haven't figured it all out yet. It's okay. That's why we're here. Simon, to you, have you ever struggled with convincing others to believe in your referral system's potential? And how did you handle it?
All the time. So with newer relationships, so the first thing that it's on their mind is, hey, does this guy have a proper big quality audience? That's the first thing. And so we have to show them, look, this is our audience here, audience there, this is the email list, these are the people. And so now I show them the Sprint Club and they actually see them in the leaderboard, etc. But before that, I have to go, oh, look, this is our people on LinkedIn, this is our people on YouTube, etc. It was quite scattered. And so that's the first one. Is this guy actually legit? Does he really have a relationship to these people? Or does he just buy lists and then tell me he has an email list? Because there is also this thing, there is people out there that buy email leads and then, they have a big email list. So the first question, is he legit? I have this every week with new people. And it's a good conversation to have. And now I have one place to show them, look, these are the people who opted into the Sprint Club. And the cool thing is they have a face, a name there. They have an activity level, a leaderboard, so you see them. And so that's one. And the other one is, because for many people, it's similar to Marie, they had bad experiences with email swaps, because it led to people unsubscribe from their list, or they had some form of negative experiences. And so what we've done now is that we have a process. So usually, and then I really teach them, I say, usually this is what we do. We start with an email swap. That's 2 emails each with 1 email with 1 day in between. Because there are 5 days email swap, 4 days, 3 days. There are so many variations. And so I say, usually this is what we do. Email swap, after email swap, if it resonates, power hour, after power hour, mastermind, after mastermind, masterclass, after masterclass, embedded offer. And somewhere in between, there is podcast appearance. And so now they get a feeling, oh, this is not just random. There is a form here. There is a process. There is a structure. And that's the second thing. Are these guys like professional, or are they making this up or learning on the go? And so that's the second thing. By having a structure, now it's a bit more solid.
I love it. That's so good. That's so good. We're kind of coming close to our time here, but I'm just going to end with a quick story and then we'll kind of move on. I struggled with this a lot. Like when we first launched our high ticket virtual seller summit, we had all these speakers. The one speaker I really wanted to come speak was Alex Sharfin. He's a dear friend of mine. He's the guy that really actually saved me from killing myself when I was burned out. He helped us to put a cadence in our business that we still run with today, which is really valuable. And I wanted him to speak on the summit, and I wanted him to promote referral to his audience for the summit. And he said to me the very same thing. He's like, Sean, I've done a lot of these speaking things, but I never get any traction. And I said, okay, cool. And that was like the first realization of a big hitter telling me, like, I don't get traction on these things. And it brought to light this question. As the person going to someone to get a referral, always remember what's in it for them. What's the one thing that they can get out of the whole process? And if that carrot is juicy enough, they're going to move forward. And then they're going to want to know what Simon said. Do you have structure? Do you have systems? Is it a process? Is it fake? Is it real? Like, what are the results before? Whatever their checkpoints of like moving forward after that is the key. But what's in it for them is the first question you need to answer. And so that's where I fell down, because it took us a minute. And then eventually Alex, we asked him like, hey, what would make this a success? He's like, if I got this many leads, I did this. So in order for us to get him that result, me and Chris went out and did a whole bunch of extra work. We promoted to our list, we wrote ads, we did paid, like content, and we drove traffic to his site to hit those numbers. And so he came back, he was like, Sean, this is the best one I've ever done. Thank you. And that was cool. And then he was actually able to then promote for us, and it grew. So that was the one thing that I did. All right. With that said, thank you guys so much for being here at the Elevate podcast, where we help to lift founders up to the next level. That's the whole purpose of this podcast. Lovely to have Miss Wonderful Marie Mack with us. Marie, thank you for being here. What was your biggest takeaway, your biggest aha, biggest anything? Just share something, because you're awesome.
Yeah, I love this. So it's an honor to be in a room with both of you and just have this conversation. I am always learning, and even through this, I was like, oh yeah, tell me about that more. So I'm just grateful for the presence here and being able to share a little bit of my brilliance. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And as we do every week, Simon, please take us home. Don't forget, we'll be back here next week, same time, same channel, but we're talking about storytelling and sales. Simon, over to you. Take us home.
Marie, you rock. Come back next week. Keep rolling, everyone. Bye-bye.